Congratulations. I think congratulations are in order. Uh, for what you may ask, we're gonna get into that in a little bit. With that being said, for the go on a slight little bit of I don't know if we can call it a rant, just talking, whatever you want to say. But with that being said, man, it's crazy how we can become so brainwashed to the point where we support something that has nothing to do with something else. We become so brainwashed to the point where we support something that has absolutely nothing to do with something else. And we sit around and we defend it like it's the best thing in the world. We sit around and say, yeah, man, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad they did that. Congratulations to them. They deserve it. When whatever it is that they're congratulating has no business in being where it is. With that being said, I'm going to get this person up on out of here because I don't really care about what you're thinking or what you're saying. So with that being said, bye bye bye. He said, uh, send a song for you to play next live. An intro, bet. That's what's up. I'm going to go ahead and do this right here too because you're sitting around asking questions that you don't need to be asking. Questions that have zero relevance to what's going on. If you want to sit around and get mad because you got booted up by my life, I really don't care. I don't take no song requests. Uh, come on now, bro. Come on now, bro. Messing up. I'm finna get, nah. I definitely don't be taking no song requests. I definitely don't care about no video. I definitely don't care about what you think. I definitely don't care what you asking. I definitely don't care about no song that you trying to ask me to play. I'm gonna get you up on out of here. Shout out to Denver, Colorado. You already know what it is. I've been there a few times. It's pretty cool, pretty lit. The airport kind of weird though. I ain't gonna lie, the airport kind of weird, kind of sus, kind of sketch because there's certain things they got going on up in there. But hey, to each in their own, I suppose. But anyways, back to what I was saying. We sit around and we support things. We cheer things on that have absolutely no business and nothing to do with where it's at. The reason why I say this is because it's got to the point where Autobot can go and compete. An Autobot can go and compete in a Decepticon sport and win and take away something that the Decepticons have been working towards for so long, so hard, and take it away from them without even really having to try. And instead of sitting around and saying you don't supposed to do that, we sit around and we cheer it on, we congratulate it, we say, yeah, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Well, no, that's not what we're supposed to do. See, they may be doing what they think they're supposed to do, but we're not doing what we're supposed to do by saying, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. And instead, we sit around and we congratulate them, we tell them to keep on going and doing what they think they're supposed to do, but what they're doing is not what they're supposed to do. What they're supposed to do is go about it the way they're supposed to. And the way they're supposed to do it is by competing in an Autobot sport, not in a Decepticon sport. You can't compete in an opposite Transformer sport. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. It don't. And people who sit around and support it, there's so many Decepticons out there who support it, which makes absolutely no sense to me at all whatsoever. Because how can you as a Decepticon sit there and support a how can you as a Decepticon sit there and support an Autobot coming from the other side to your side and taking away something that you have worked for so long, sitting there saying, yeah, it deserved it, man. It worked hard. It did with this and did that. No, that's not what's supposed to happen. That's not what's supposed to happen at all. You're supposed to condemn it. You're supposed to say no. You're supposed to stand up. See, at this point, nobody is safe from anybody doing anything. Nobody is safe from anybody doing anything at all. And it's a shame because you see this in sports, schools, locker rooms, all types of different stuff, man. All types of different stuff. Nobody is safe from doing anything anymore. And that's dangerous not only to you but to the youth as well, to the kids, to the children who are in school, who are playing sports. Just imagine your daughter on a volleyball team. She's playing volleyball, whatever, and there's a boy that says, I want to do this, I want to do that. Uh, nah, nah. It's just not what you're supposed to do. It's just not what you're supposed to do at all. You know, and it's a shame. But at the end of the day, people are going to end up doing what they do. They're going to allow whatever they allow. But let me tell you something, there's consequences for allowing something to go on for so long. There are consequences for you ignoring reality. And if you ignore the fact that there's something going on around your child, if there's something going on that's not supposed to be going on, then you're going to receive consequences. Whether it's you, whether it's your child, whatever the case may be, there's going to be some type of consequence for it because you ignored it. You can't be mad at nobody else. You ignored it. That's on you. You know, and it sucks because the person who really suffers the most from it are the children. The person who suffers from your consequences the most are the children. But yeah, you don't see it because you're too busy being caught up with yourself. You're too busy trying to support something that has nothing to do with the next thing. You're too busy trying to support something that has no business being where it's at. And that's a shame. It just goes to show you where your mind is at. It goes to show you where your priorities are at. A lot of irresponsible people be having irresponsible children, and they make irresponsible decisions. And then they raise irresponsible children who make irresponsible decisions. And it just keeps going on and on and on until one of them finally decides to break the chain. But it causes so much destruction. You know, it causes so much destruction. So that's where you got to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do, and not making irresponsible decisions, not having irresponsible children, not being an irresponsible adult, and just doing whatever you feel like doing in the moment instead of doing what you're supposed to do as an adult, as a parent, you know, as a guardian. Whatever you got to do to protect your kids, you better make sure you do it. You better make sure you do it. But man, I sit around and I say this because it was a transformer who won Miss Netherlands, and I see a whole lot of people cheering it on. I see a whole lot of people supporting it, and it's like, how are you gonna sit here and support an Autobot that came over to the Decepticons and took from the Decepticons what they were supposed to win and brought it back over here, and y'all sitting around and clapping for him, cheering for him, doing this, that, the third for him. Like, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense at all. Like, we become so brainwashed and so numb and so blind to the point to where we would literally sit around and congratulate this, that, and the third instead of saying, hey, wait, we're not supposed to do that. That's what happens when you get too deep into the matrix. That's what happens when you wear those virtual reality goggles for so long that when you take them off, you're so used to living inside that fake world that you bring the reality from that fake world into the actual reality. And so what you're doing now is you're correcting everything. You're merging everything together, and it's not supposed to be like that. It ain't supposed to be like that. But that's what's going to happen anyways, because there's people out there who are obsessed with the Matrix because they can be whatever they want, do whatever they want, and they're going to remain inside of it. They're going to remain asleep, and they're going to remain leading people astray from the truth. And it's a shame. But what can you do besides point it out and keep moving? You know, people who listen are going to listen. People who don't care don't care. They're going to keep going. You know, and it may hurt a little bit to see how numb people are. It may hurt to see how uncaring people are about the fact that they're literally heading down a one-way road to a destination that they're not going to be able to turn around from once they get to the end. You know, and when you try to tell them, they get mad, they get angry, saying you're just this, you're just that, you're mad, you're jealous. You know, all you're trying to do is just point out the truth and the facts. It is what it is. You know, people want to get so much into their feelings about what they're doing when they know what they're doing is wrong that they want to sit around and call you the bad guy. And it's like, bro, how doomed are we? How much more? How much further can we go? How much more can we take? How much more corrupt can we become? But hey, what do I know? I'm just one guy. One guy that likes to sit around and talk about what needs to be talked about instead of talking about what y'all want to hear, because a lot of y'all be listening to comfort content. Comforting content, that's what I call it. Comfort content, feel good content. Y'all want to sit around and feel good. You want to watch something that makes you feel happy, makes you feel alive, makes you laugh, makes you giggle. Y'all want to sit around and watch stuff that has nothing to do with what's going on outside of your little world. Y'all want to sit around and watch things that have nothing to do with what's going on outside the matrix. And by watching that content, you stay plugged into the matrix. And instead of pulling that plug, you dig deeper into it because it's what you like. Instead of pulling that plug, you dig deeper into it because it's what you like. And it's a shame. But it is what it is. It is what it is. When are you going to make the decision to say enough is enough? When are you going to make the decision to say, I got to get out of here? When are you going to make the decision to say, I'm unplugging myself from the computer? It's all up to you. You are the only one who can make that decision yourself. But you're probably not going to, because you're going to be too scared, too afraid to do it, because you're going to sit around and think that you're going to be the only person to do it. And then you're going to sit around and think, oh man, I'm missing out on this, I'm missing out on that. He said, I'm missing out on this, I'm missing out on that. So you're going to remain plugged in. That's how they get you to stay in the system. That's how they get you to remain inside of it. Is because they use that fear. That fear of you being the only person and then missing out on a whole lot of stuff. They use that fear to keep you down. When in reality, you don't even know there's a lot of other people who have that same mentality of I'm unplugged but I'm scared. You don't find them, you don't get together with them to create a much bigger community and say this is what we're going to do. You're going to remain on the hamster wheel. That's just how it is. You're going to remain on it, you're going to stay on it, you're going to live on it, you're going to breathe on it, you're going to sleep on it, you're going to eat on it, and you ain't never going to be free. You're going to remain on that leash. So with that being said, y'all need to really sit around and think to yourselves, when am I going to wake up? Am I going to wake up? Do I want to wake up? And if I do want to wake up, I need to do it now. Because time is coming soon where you're not going to be, it's going to be too late. You're going to get sucked all the way in and there ain't going to be no way out. It's like a black hole. So with that being said, make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, your members, your aunties, your grannies, and everybody else that y'all know. And I'll be right back with the next episode of your night. Make sure y'all tap the follow and the bell button, stay tapped and tuned in, and I'll be right back. Deuces.